It was nice being in Dublin with a fellow I had never met before, and he was quite exotic from Wexford. Wexford was very exotic if you lived in Kerry. So, a few of us from home decided that we would go flat looking, which we did, flat hunting, and Ranelagh and Rathmines were the places in Dublin to live then.
When was this?
What do you mean? What year?
Yeah.
Oh, 10 BC, I don't know. 75, I suppose, 1975. So we went out, got the evening press, and all split up and all took off looking at flats. And I arrived in Ranelagh on Sanford Road, and there was a flat upstairs for rent. So when I was going to the door, I looked and there was 3 boys downstairs, and one of them was Billy Browne. sounds like something from an Ed O'Brien novel, doesn't it? Penny Hanlon and Liam Donnelly. And then there was 2 girls in the middle floor, and we took the top floor. So that's how I met him. He was downstairs. So we hadn't far to go to pick me up, to bring me on a date. How did he propose to me? Oh, not very romantic. We were after coming home from the St. Patrick's Day parade. God, the innocence of the 70s. And we were in my flat in Oakley Road. I had moved out at this stage. We'd all moved on, doing different things. And we had lunch, and we were washing up. And I was drying, and he was washing, and he said to me, "Would you marry me?" And I said, "Well, I don't know, maybe if I was asked." I was always a bit smart. And then he said, "Well, will you?" And I said, "Well, go on then, give it a try." So here we are 33 years later. 2 dogs, a cat and 4 sons, still together. That's gonna bring me down. I love my baby. St. Michael. Grandy, yeah. Where would you start with Grand? He was really good. He was a good dad. I was thinking about him today, and what I would remember about him was he was never idle, ever. He would come in from work. In the evening, we would have had our dinner with Mum, and Dad always had the nicest dinner. She always had a pot roast or a lovely casserole, and we would be like goldfish around him with our mouths open. And you remember, Neil, to this day, he'd sit at the top of the table cutting the dinner, and he'd give us forkfuls. And it was lovely meat. Daddy's dinner tasted a lot nicer than all of ours. And he'd have one in every 4 mouthfuls because we would have. He never got cross with us or anything.
Nej då. Jag ska gå out där, ja? Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
After dinner, he would sit down and read the paper and maybe doze for 10 minutes, and then out to the back bedroom, take down his trumpet, sit on the bed. We knew not to interrupt him, and he played the trumpet for half an hour. And it was all the circus music from his love of the circus. And then he'd put away the trumpet back into its case, clean it out, his finger, clean it out, put it back in the case, close the case on the top of the wardrobe. Doing the wardrobe in the back room, left there for the final. We never touched his trumpet because he loved it. And then down to the basement, down to his workshop. And he would be making stuff for the house, or else he would be working on his exhibition. Even then, he had the vision of what he wanted to do when he retired. We went in after work on Ash Wednesday, and we sat down. We had the best chat, your dad and myself and Terence and Grandy, and we had such a laugh and we had such a chat. And Dad and I decided to go to Mass. It was Ash Wednesday in the evening, and I said to your dad, I said, we'll bring Grandy up the paper because he hadn't read it. So we bought him up the Times that Jason had bought, and called in after Mass, and I said, Dad, we're going off now. And he said, go away, I'm fine, I'm quite happy now. And they were the last words he said to me. The next morning he died. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, they will do.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Oh, definitely, absolutely. Look, there's a curtain still pulled below in the house, etc.
Still in the bed.
No, there's a... Hold on, no, mate.
Look at the holy water. But on the Sunday before he died, the two of us went to beach. It was so good. We had such a good day out, the two of us. Do you remember I'd bring him out every Sunday? And he loved pears. And your dad had bought him a bag of pears. And I hadn't brought it in to him, I was letting them. So I said to your dad, I said, I'd bring Grandy up a pear now. So I got a pear and a knife and a tissue and collected him and had the Independent from Saturday, which he loved. Do you remember the review? And we drove to Inch because Mammy loved Inch and I like Inch too. It was a lovely beach. And I was on a perpetual diet. I said I'd go walking in Inch. It was a gorgeous day. So I had a blanket around him. And I said, Dad, I'm going to go for a walk. And I gave him the review and the pear, the knife, tissue and everything. And he sat there. He was like the bee's knees. And I went for a lovely long walk in Inch. It was a gorgeous mild day like the weather we'd just had. And I was coming back up the beach. I'll always remember it, coming back up the beach. And there was people with buggies and children. And the car was parked. And I got the wave. Two of us. And I thought to myself, here they all are with their babies, and this is my baby in 91. And the wave to me, do you remember the wave, Neil? He was like royalty. And we sat in the car, the two of us, and a little boy about 9 jumped into the water fully clothed. And we were saying, my God, it's not warm enough to go in the water. It was only February. But we were enjoying this little fellow's enjoyment. He was ruined. He was wet from head to foot, shoes, socks, tracksuit on. And it was so unusual that the two of us sat in the front of the car enjoying this little boy's enjoyment. And the dog was barking. His mother was, well, she was really good. She just stood there and she thought, I'm going to leave him enjoy this. And Dad and I were laughing at him, you know. I said, Dad, that fellow will be inside the hospital on Tuesday with pneumonia. But we laughed. And I remember coming home and I said, God, you know, wasn't that a really nice day? And he said, that was lovely. I enjoyed that so much. And that was our last outing on a Sunday. About 9 o'clock every night, loved the news, listen to the news. He'd sit in the armchair and he'd go, shh, shh, even though nobody would be moving. Even the dog would stay silent during the news. But he still went shh into the air. But when the news was over, he would lay newspaper on the table and take out his wood and start, you know, his carvings that he has in his exhibition, start making those, the wheels and the whole thing, whittling with the wood. And I remember we'd be looking at it and then he'd be painting them. And he'd say to me, or the boys, what colour do you think? And we'd all have a big discussion what colour, and then he'd look up magazines to get the colour properly. And we would be so interested in seeing the way he was making them. It was great, and the pride when he had one finished. Oh, Lord, we'd all be looking at it, and then he'd start on the next one. And then the men, then the circus tent, and the elephant. This went on for ages, but piece by piece, night after night, he put it all together. I always think I'm a very lucky woman. I was raised with 4 brothers and I had 4 sons. I was always a woman amongst men. And I like men, my men.